Hi everyone and welcome to Ezay Learning. Today we are going to cover part 36. The topic is errorless learning and error correction procedures. Errorless learning and error correction are teaching strategies commonly used in ABA to help learners acquire new skills while minimizing mistakes, ensuring success and maintaining motivation. Errorless learning. It is a teaching technique and it is designed to prevent errors by ensuring that the learner is experiencing success from the start. It involves using prompts and gradually fading them to reduce the chance of incorrect responses. The key features of errorless learning are preventing mistakes. So, the goal is to ensure that the learner makes no errors during the learning process, which helps in reinforcing correct responses. Use of prompt. Initially, strong prompts like physical, verbal, or visual prompts are provided to guide the learner to the correct answer. And then prompt fading. Once the learner starts responding correctly, prompts are gradually reduced or faded to encourage independence in responding, and then gradual shaping of responses. As the learner gains mastery over a task, the prompts are reduced step by step, allowing for the emergence of independence behavior. So, if you are using errorless learning, you will give prompts continuously. You will try that the learner prevent as much mistake as possible, so he would be able to gain and experience success from the very start. It would be the errorless learning, it would be without any errors, because you are giving prompts, you are providing extreme guidance, extreme cues, and this way there is no mistake or very low mistakes, and this way the procedure would be known as errorless learning. And in this procedure, prompt fading would also play a role for the independence in skill acquisition, and then gradual shaping of responses would also help in mastery. What are the steps to implement errorless learning? You have to select the skill to teach. Choose a skill that the learner needs to acquire, for example, identifying colors, following instructions, or performing tasks like hand washing. Now provide a strong prompt. Immediately guide the learner to the correct response using a prompt. The prompt should be strong enough to guarantee a correct response. For example, if teaching a child to point to a picture of a dog, you might physically guide their finger to the correct image. Now reinforce correct responses. Immediately reinforce the learner for responding correctly to the prompt. This could be through verbal praise, tokens, or preferred item. For example, great job pointing to the dog and giving a small reward. Gradually fade the prompt. Slowly reduce the prompt after the learner consistently make the correct response. The fading should be systematic to avoid errors. For example, start with physical guidance, then fade to a verbal cue, point to the dog, and eventually the learner responds independently. Ensure success. Make sure that the learner can perform the task independently. Before moving on to more difficult tasks or skills, the learner should experience consistent success. Coming towards the benefits of errorless learning, it increases confidence, promotes faster learning, minimizes frustration, and helps with skill mastery. Now, what is error correction? Error correction procedures are the strategies used when a learner makes a mistake in response to a task or instruction. It involves identifying the error and providing specific guidance to correct that mistake, ensuring that the learner learns from their mistake and eventually perform the task correctly. So basically, the learner has made any error or mistake and you will be correcting it. That procedure would be error correction. You have to first identify the error. When an error occurs, it is important to recognize the mistake and address it immediately to prevent further errors. Now, immediate feedback is required. Provide prompt and constructive feedback to the learner. reinforcing the correct response and guiding them to the correct behavior. Use of a corrective prompt. A corrective prompt is used to help the learner perform the correct response. It may involve repeating the instruction or using a more direct prompt and then, reinforce correct responses. Steps of error correction. As we saw before, as we learned through the key features of error correction, you have to first detect the error. For example, if teaching a child to say apple and they say orange, this would be an error. Now provide immediate corrective feedback. For example, oops, that's not right. Let's try again. Say apple. So you are basically providing corrective feedback. You are immediately correcting the mistake. Now reinforce the correct response. After saying apple, you could give praise like great job saying apple. Use a corrective prompt if needed. For example, you can prompt them to say apple while fading the prompt as they begin to respond correctly. Practice the correct response again and again, reinforcing each correct answer, and then gradually fade error correction so the learner could be able to answer independently. The benefits of error correction are it enhances learning, promotes persistence, improves skill retention, and encourages independence. Errorless learning and error correction can be combined. So the errorless learning can be used in the initial stage of skill acquisition to prevent error and build confidence. As the learner progresses, error correction can be introduced to help correct any mistake that may occur and ensure the learner becomes more independent in performing the skill. Coming towards the MCQs, what is the primary goal of errorless learning? To ensure the learner experiences success without making mistakes. Which of the following is a key feature of errorless learning? Using strong prompts and gradually fading them. What does prompt fading in errorless learning aim to achieve? To gradually reduce assistance until the learner can respond independently. In error correction procedures, what is the first step when a learner makes an error? Detect or identify the error. Which benefit is common to both errorless learning and error correction procedure? Promoting faster and more effective skill acquisition. That's all for today. Thank you for watching.